In 106, Janamejaya said, Interminably wedded to evil, blinded by avarice, addicted to wicked courses, resolved upon bringing destruction on his head, inspiring grief in the hearts of kinsmen, enhancing the woes of friends, afflicting all his well-wishers, augmenting the joys of foes, and treading the wrong path. Why did not his friends seek to restrain him? And why also did not the great friend of Kuru's race, the Holy One with a tranquil soul, or the grand sire tell him anything from affection? Visampayana said, Yes, the Holy One did speak. Bhishma also spoke what was beneficial. And Narada too said much. Listen to all that these said. Visampayana continued. Narada said, Persons that listen to the counsels of friends are rare. Friends again are rare that offer beneficial counsels. For a friend in need of counsel is never there when a friend offering counsel is. O son of Kuru's race, I think the words of friends ought to be listened to. Obstinance ought to be avoided, for it is fraught with great evil. In this connection is cited an old story regarding Gaudavas having met with a disgrace through obstinacy in ancient times. In order to test Vishwamitra, who was then engaged in ascetic austerities, Dharma personally came to him, having assumed the form of the Rishi Vasistha. Thus assuming, O Bharata, the form of the one of the 7 rishis, and feeling himself hungry and desirous of eating, he came, O king, to the hermitage of Kausika. Thereupon Vishwamitra, struck with awe, began to cook charu, which was a preparation of rice and milk. And in consequence of the care he took in preparing that excellent food, he could not properly wait upon his guest. And it was not until after the guest had dined on the food offered by the other eremites that Vishwamitra succeeded in approaching him with the charu he had cooked and which was still steaming. I have already dined, wait here, were the words that the Holy One said. And having said that, the Holy One went away. And thereupon the illustrious Vishwamitra, O king, waited there, and bearing that food on his head, and holding it with his arms, that ascetic of rigid vow stood in his hermitage, still as a post subsisting on air, and as he stood there, an ascetic of the name of Gaudava, from motives of respect and reverence, and from affection and desire of doing what is agreeable, began to wait upon him. And after 100 years had passed away, Dharma, again assuming the form of Vasistha, came to Kaushika from a desire of eating, and beholding the great Rishi Vishwamitra, who was endued with high wisdom, standing there with that food on his head, himself subsisting all the while on air, Dharma accepted that food which was still warm and fresh, and having eaten that food, the god said, Gratified am I, O regenerate Rishi. And saying this, he went away. And at those words of Dharma, Vishwamitra, divested of Kshatriyahood, became endued with the status of a Brahmana, and was filled with delight, and pleased as he was with the services and devotion of his disciple, the ascetic Gaudava. Vishwamitra addressed him and said, With my leave, O Gaudava, go with whithersoever thou mayest wish. Thus commanded by his preceptor, Gaudava, highly pleased, said in a sweet voice unto Vishwamitra of great effulgence, What final gift shall I make thee in consequence of thy services? As preceptor, O giver of honors, it is in consequence of the final present that a sacrifice becomes successful. The giver of such gifts obtains emancipation. Indeed, these gifts constitute the fruit that one enjoys in heaven. They are regarded as peace and tranquility, personified. What therefore shall I procure for my preceptor? Oh, let that be said. The illustrious Vishwamitra knew that he had really been conquered by Gaudava by means of the latest services, and the Rishi therefore sought to dismiss him by repeatedly saying, Go, go, but though repeatedly commanded by Vishwamitra to go away, Gaudava still addressed him, saying, What shall I give? And seeing this obstinacy on the part of ascetic Gaudava, Vishwamitra felt a slight rise of anger, and at last said, Give me 800 steeds, every one of which should be as white as the rays of the moon, and every one of which should have 1 ear black. Go now, O Gadava, and tarry not. Thus ended section 106 in the Bhagavat Yana Parva of the Udyoga Parva.